Here we go, baby. Welcome to the Gridiron. If you give this video a thumbs up or share this video, that would be absolutely freaking awesome. I greatly appreciate it. If you're subscribed to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. It's absolutely free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? Also, top link in the description box below. Very top link takes you to my membership page. If you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And also, a little ways down in the description box, there's a link. It takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants to Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. I'm the administrator. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in that group darn near 365. Right? We have over 9,200 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous. It's called the New York Giants to Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. Well, there's some good news on the front, as far as at least with Eli anyway. This is one of those, you kind of knew he would probably be kind of nominated for the Hall. Just nominated. There's apparently there's 16 new guys that are being nominated. There's a whole ton of them. I mean, there's a lot of good players that are, on this list here. But you just don't know. Is he going to be a first-time Hall of Famer? The thing is that he doesn't really want to go head to head with maybe a Ben Roethlisberger or somebody. I mean, because there are other guys that maybe have maybe all pros and have a better winning percentage. A lot of people seem to think, and they look at Eli's winning percentage in regular season or overall, it's 500. It's But, I mean, if you put somebody like Joe Namath in there, winning percentage, there's a losing percentage, shall I say, who's thrown far more interceptions. Obviously, we're going back the 60s and the 70s. Things were different, right? But he has a lot more interceptions than he does touchdown passes. So if you he's got the guarantee, and I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, all that stuff. But, so, will Eli be a first ballot Hall of Famer? You look at a lot of his stuff. Very, very good career. Very, very good career. The thing, a lot of it, is that there's a lot of good players out there. Like one, I always say, I think about whatever. Guy named Jim Marshall. He was with the Vikings. He played, I think, from 61 to 78 or 70. Oh, hold on. Oh, timeout. My buddy Randy's here. Hold on, buddy. Watch your head. I want to pinch your head. Hold on. Okay. All right, Randy's here. We can continue. I start talking. I'll wake him up. My good boy. I said, with Jim Marshall. Okay, and a lot of it, some of it was with the Vikings back then, because a lot of what they say is, well, what happened when they went to the big game and they got blown out? So a lot of it is with Jim Marshall. I mean, the dude played in so many consecutive games. He played 17, 18 years. I don't think he ever missed a game. This, that, phenomenal. One of the things that is a knock on him. Well, what happens when he went up again, got to the big dance, right? Did he ever take over a game? Because he went to 4 Super Bowls, right? After the 69, 73, 74, and 76 season. From 69 to 76, the Vikings went to 4 Super Bowls. They lost them all. They got embarrassed in all of them. So a lot of it, with somebody like him, like a Jim Marshall, what happened? And, you just didn't hear him. He went up against, especially with the Dolphins after the 73 season, right? Super Bowl 8, I believe it was. They got a great offensive line. they kind of quiet him down. The following year, Super Bowl 9 against the Steelers after the 74 season, right? I mean, the Steelers had a good offensive line, but the Steelers were able to run the ball. Franco Harris had a great game running the ball. Then you got the Super Bowl, I guess it would be 11, right after the 76 season. They got blown out by the Raiders. The Raiders were able to run the ball. So a lot of it was like with Jim Marshall. It's kind of like, well, what did he do when he got to the big game? And he was overmatched. So he'll probably never make it to the Hall of Fame. He had a great career. As I said, a long career. He played, let me see, Jim, I'm going to just type in Jim Marshall here. From 61, he was with the Minnesota Vikings his whole career. Jim Marshall. Here we go. I mean, the guy from, it was 78 or 79? 79. Oh, I'm sorry. He played, 1960 was with Cleveland. I did not know that. I know he was from 1961, which is the Vikings' first season, to 79. He played every year. He and from 61 to 79, those seasons there, he did not miss a game. He played in a grand total of 282 games with 277 starts. He played in 12 games for the Cleveland Browns in 1960. He had he missed 5 starts. But he started in 7 of them. But basically, he did not miss because in 1960 they only played 12 games. So he played in every game for the Browns. So from 1960 to 1979, in 20 seasons as a defensive end, he was light. I think he said sometimes he was like 225 pounds as a defensive end. But in 20 seasons, he did not miss a game. He missed 5 starts. I guess, but Cleveland didn't start him in 5 games in 1960 for whatever the reasons were. I have no idea. But in 20 seasons, he didn't miss a game. Sacks. He had 130 sacks. 130 sacks. 20 seasons. He went to 4 Super Bowls. Let's see. 1, 2. He went to 2 All-Pros. He was 2 Pro Bowls. 2 Pro Bowls. Yeah. But 130 sacks. I mean, great career. But one of the things with Jim Marshall is that, what happened to him, when he got to the big games and he was a non-factor. Well, and I've talked so many minutes about Jim Marshall. I do apologize, but what did Eli do? Some of it, is the talent around you, right? I mean, there were times, after the 11th season, things started kind of going downhill a little bit, and I think some of it had to do. Some of it was injuries. The Giants had some really good players that got injured. But also some of it also the drafting of Jerry Reese. The cupboard just started getting bare. I mean, he had a good draft in 2007. He drafted some very good players, don't get me wrong. But he did not hit on a lot of late round picks. And the cupboard started getting bare. He just was not a very good, had a hard time drafting. I mean, he drafted, don't get me wrong, some of the first round picks were like JPP and Odell Beckham Jr. So he had some, but the cupboard started getting bare after a while. So, I mean, Eli's, toward the, as we say, right? I mean, after the 2011 season, he had one more playoff appearance with 2016. Then we had the boat trip, and that one, the playoff appearance went up in flames. But I mean, as I said, I really think the cupboard started getting bare with talent. So that's why Eli started suffering. He didn't have if you look at the team that got surrounded by him in 2006 and 7 and 8 and all that stuff, there were some good players, good offense, good defense. And then, the talent just started, don't get me wrong. We still had some talent, don't get me wrong, but it started kind of going downhill. Right? And I think drafting a Jerry Reese had a lot to do with it. But when he went to the big game in 2011, he put the team on his back. And as far as I know, right now, up to this year, his his passing yards in the 2011 playoffs is still the most passing yards in a playoff bunny quarterback. Eli Manning, 2011 playoffs. He put the team on his back, and what did he do in the big games, the big one? What did he do in the playoffs? Those 2 seasons, 2. We're not just talking 1. Oh yeah, like Joe Namath. Joe Namath had one playoff run. That's all he had. He beat the Raiders, and then he beat the Colts in the Super Bowl. He won 2 playoff games. That was it. Right. But I'm saying, but what did Eli do in the big moments when his team's down and they got to score a touchdown? Right. What did he do? He led them on touchdown. And talk good teams. The Patriots were 18-0 at the time. Right. It's like all right, Eli. The Patriots are out there. They're 18-0. This is probably the last time you're going to get the ball. It's 14-10. You need a touchdown. Don't score a touchdown, you lose. No pressure. What's he do? Leads them on a cut, right? Of course, you got a little bit of luck there, with the helmet catch, right? He almost got sacked. He was almost in the grass, broke free and all that, but he directed a touchdown drive. Same thing after Super Bowl 46, after the 2011 season, right? What's he do? Drives him down the field, they score a touchdown, win the game, right? So in 2, not just 1, 2. I'm saying you could say, you got lucky in 1. Yeah, right? No, we're talking 2. Okay. 2 times he put what did he do in the biggest moment of the season, 2007, 2011? He was the MVP of the Super Bowl 2 times, right? So there's no doubt about it. No question. The guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. First ballot, as I said, you could, that's not, that's not for me to, they're obviously going to, other people decide that and everything like that. But without question, he certainly deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Hopefully, hopefully he's not going toe-to-toe. If he doesn't get in this time, you don't want him going toe-to-toe like with maybe Rivers and Breeze or what, Roethlisberger and Rivers. And so, then it's kind of get a little bit messy, but you want him, if he can get in there and be like the only quarterback. Like right now, if you look, let's see what we got here. Finalists for the class of 2024. Bold indicates first year of eligibility. Players must have last played at least 5 full seasons ago to be eligible for nomination. Therefore, any individual who last played in 2019 is eligible for the first time in 2025. Modern era nominees for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025. These are modern era. There's 10 quarterbacks. I have absolutely no idea. Absolutely no idea how Mark Bulger is a modern era nominee. Mark Bulger. Are you kidding me? Not that he's not getting in and out, but I don't even know why he's even on this list. I can see the names that we got. Randall Cunningham. I can certainly see that without question. Jacob Delhomme. Doug Flutie. Rich Gannon. He was an MVP. Okay. Jeff Garcia. Okay. Donovan McNabb. Yes, I can see him. Eli Manning. Steve McNair. Yes. Tony Romo. Yes. Mark Bulger. You've got to be kidding me. It's unbelievable. But, I'm saying, it's like he's not going up against, like I said, Roethlisberger. Rivers ain't there. I guess I'm not sure when Breeze would be eligible, because if he's going against Drew Brees, forget about it. Drew Brees, I'm sure, would knock him out. But so the thing is, I'm saying, Randall Cunningham never won a Super Bowl. Bulger, once again, I have no idea why he's on there. Jake Delhomme didn't win a Super Bowl. Doug Flutie, I don't know if he was a backup. I don't know if he was with the Patriots or if he was the back. I don't even know. Rich Gannon, no. Garcia, no. Donovan McNabb, no. Steve McNair, no. Tommy Romo, no. So out of the quarterbacks, if they're going to have a quarterback, Eli Manning is the only one modern era, okay, who's been nominated. All right, he won 2 Super Bowls, and he was the MVP in both those Super Bowls. So for him going up against any of these other quarterbacks, to me, it's a no-brainer. He won 2 Super Bowls, and he was the MVP in both Super Bowls. So to me, that it's a no-brainer. There's a lot of good running backs on there, a lot of good wide receivers, tight ends. I mean, Jeremy Shockey's on there now. There's a list of quite a few Giants. Let's see here on here that are. He has one of 167 modern era candidates that were announced on Wednesday by the Hall of Fame, and that number will be weeded down to 50 players next month by a screening committee. The nominees get cut down to 25 and then down to 15 ahead of the Super Bowl. In order to be voted into the Hall of Fame, a player must get 80% of the votes, and according to the Hall's bylaws, 3 to 5 players from the modern era candidate can get in. Now, is this? Trying to see. Okay, here we go. Tiki Barber, Jeremy Shockey, Chris Snee, Justin Tuck, Jesse Armstead, Jeff Eagles, and Sean Landeta join Manning on the ballot. So I got quite a few Giants on there. Quite a few Giants. If Tiki could have played around, could have hung around for at least one more season, he would have been on a Super Bowl winning team. He would have had well over 16, maybe 17,000 all-purpose yards. Without question, I think he would have been in without question. But it is what it is. But Eli retired with a 117 record. So he's 12th in all-time NFL history in game-winning drives. So I mean, his winning percentage is 500. That's one of the small chinks in his armor. But 366 touchdowns, 57,000 passing yards. Manning never led the NFL in any major statistical category during a single season and was never named an All-Pro. So, but the thing is, he said, the biggest games, what happened, right? Biggest stage, what happened with Eli? They won the games, and he was the MVP. Without question, he deserves to be in. But I said, he's going to be in. If he's going to get voted in, this would be a really good season for him because he's not going head-to-head, I said, with some of those other quarterbacks. Right? Now, see, there's 10 quarterbacks. There's 31 running backs, 21 wide receivers, 6 tight ends, 26 offensive linemen, 18 defensive linemen, 20 linebackers, 18 defensive backs, 15 punters and kickers, and 2 guys on special teams. Josh Cribbs and Brian Mitchell. Brian Mitchell was really good. So, a lot of guys. So I have to wait and see. But, to me, without question, he deserves to, obviously, deserves to be in. First ballot Hall of Famer. We'll have to wait and see. But I said, if he's going to get in, if they're going to grab a quarterback and put a quarterback in, this would be the season for him because none of those other guys, some of those other guys maybe have a better winning percentage or maybe this, that, the other thing. But none of those other quarterbacks have been on the field and won a Super Bowl. None of those other 9 quarterbacks are Super Bowl playing, winning quarterbacks. So if Eli Manning, like Tony Romo's had better maybe quarterback rating, probably has a better winning percentage his team's probably won more games than, better winning percentage than what Eli did with the Giants and all that stuff. But Eli, Tony Romo never went to a Super Bowl. Right? That's right. That's it. So if they're going to vote Eli in, this would be the season, without question. But we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, out of all those other guys, there's a lot of good guys. A lot of good guys in that list, right? Between the running backs, tight end, all that stuff, who have more all pros than Eli, maybe more Pro Bowl or what, you know what I mean? So, right. But Eli, right, 2 times won the Super Bowl, but 2-time Super Bowl MVP. So, all right, then next, let's see here. So we have a little which is not bad. The injury report, okay, not too bad. The Giants are in a desperate need of a win, and after 2 winnable games gone by the wayside, Sunday feels like the type of season-defining contest no team wants to play in September. Now, I mean, also you got to, you got to get, as of right now, you got to give Minnesota a little bit of credit, right? I mean, they came in and whooped their butts, but they held serve at home against the 49ers. It was a close game, but I think they held the 49ers to I think it was 7 points till about 10 minutes left to go. I guess the 49ers scored 10 points in the final 10 minutes. So you figure, well, my math is right. First 50 minutes of the game, the 49ers, who were walking up and down the field against that Jet defense, had 7 points. So, I'm not saying Minnesota's going to the Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl and nothing like that. But so far, I'll tell you what, you got to give Minnesota some credit. Right? Got to give them some credit. They held serve. They played very good against the 49ers, and they came in here and whooped their butts. Let's see. But the injuries. So to win games, it says that likely requires being as healthy as possible. And New York already knows what it's like for unexpected injuries to spoil a Sunday. Yep. Good old Graham Gano, right? On Wednesday, the Giants released their first injury report of the week with 2 new additions, neither of which are particularly concerning. Nick McLeod with his knee did not participate, but everybody else did. I mean, obviously, Graham Gano, we're going to go over that. He's on the injured, the IR. But we brought in a new kicker. Once again, I'll go over that. But we got Darius Muasau with a knee, but he was limited. All right, so hopefully, maybe, a knee can be a problem, obviously. But he was just limited. Now, and also one thing too is that when you're limited, and I heard this on Big Blue Kickoff Live, and I did not know this, right? Limited means if the guy, misses 2 snaps or 3 or something, he's off to the sideline or something along those lines, and he does not participate because I don't know, trainers or whatever for a couple of snaps or something like that. If he's not right there or whatever, they have to put him as limited. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm saying if he goes off to the side and the trainer looks at him for a play or 2, he misses a couple plays. He's not participating. I don't mean if he's not in the right there. But I'm saying if he has to go off to the sideline or something like that for a play or 2 or whatever. He misses a play or 2, so he has to be put in as limited. Right. So if he starts to practice, I don't know, riding the bike, and they're out there and they got some snaps going or something like that, he misses a few. He's not participating, or he's not on the field where they're running the plays and all and everything. He has to be put down as limited. So just because, they're in limited doesn't mean that, oh my God, he only played in 2 snaps. No, he might have just missed a couple snaps, a handful of snaps or something like that. And they have to put him down as limited. Isaiah Simmons, non-injury related, it was personal. So, I mean, yes, I mean, you look, I mean, edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeaux with a shoulder, he was limited. So, I mean, yeah, so far, not too, I mean, obviously we had a couple guys. I mean, or Graham Gano, Schlotman, right? He's out for this, he's hurt. I mean, so you got a couple guys, obviously, Gunner, Olszewski, right? But we don't have, don't have this long laundry list, 79 guys nicked up, right? So, I think it's not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, everybody participated except for Nick McLeod. Not bad. Not bad. Knock on wood, right? The offense, I mean, unlike last season, remember oh my God, the offensive line was like a turnstile with the injuries and all that. Oh my goodness. So far, knock on wood, right? Let's see. So McLeod missed last week's game in Landover. Let's see. Flott took his spot on the boundary after spending much of week one in the slot. By moving over, Drew Phillips was able to take the slot snaps where he flourished. It feels safe to assume that Flott will remain outside, putting McLeod's starting role in question if he's healthy enough to go. His status for week 3 is not yet determined. Simmons, meanwhile, is a safer bet to play if New York is willing to get him on the field. If his presence on the injury report is a mere formality, as his limited participation was deemed personal. He didn't play a defensive snap in week 1 and didn't play particularly well in Washington. His role isn't solidified, but Wednesday's practice may not play into the team's decision. The headliner of this injury report is the other new addition, Kayvon. Luckily for the third-year edge rusher, the ailment isn't expected to cost him any time on Sunday in Cleveland. At this point, it would be a surprise if anyone but McLeod misses the action in week 3. So, I mean, really, really good. Really, really good, very good news. Yeah. I mean, it was like, like last year. It was like every week you look at the injury report. It's like Giants got like 10, 12 guys, and the other team would have like 3. It's like every week it was like that. I remember when we played the Rams. The Rams, I don't think, had one guy on their injury report last season, and we had like 10. It's like, so it looks like Wellman is doing a pretty good job. So it looks like we had a couple good, like Wellman, right? The offensive line, that guy by the name of Carmen Basilio, right? Right? So it looks like we got guys. We had a couple of good pickups in the offseason. And I don't mean players, right? So then we got, now this here, remember when we traded Jordan Phillips, right? Looks like things are working out. Might work out well for the Giants. Now, obviously, apparently it's not supposed to happen, because we were supposed to be swapping picks with the Cowboys. But because Phillips participated in the first 2 games, looks like we're going to be swapping picks with the Cowboys. We're going to be getting their 6th-round pick, and they'll be getting our 7th-round pick in the 2026 draft, I think it is. Jordan Phillips' trade officially pays small dividend for the New York Giants. Small dividend. Finally, something has actually gone right for the Giants. Off to an 0-2 start marked by both poor play and inexplicable roster management. Defensive tackle Jordan Phillips, traded by the Giants to the Cowboys during training camp, has now appeared in 2 games for Dallas. That means the trade compensation with the Giants get a 6th-round pick in the 2026 NFL draft and sending their 7th-round pick in that same draft to Dallas has now become official. So the only thing is that, you kind of look at it too, is 2026 draft. So just saying, it could be good. It could be mediocre. It could be, So next season, right, the Giants wind up stinking it up, and the Cowboys really do good. Well, then we're getting the Cowboys 6th-round pick, so they could be picking 30th in the 6th-round pick, and we could be picking 5th in the 7th round. So it's not much of a, However, if we both wind up kind of being mediocre next season, right? And the Giants wind up picking, say, 20th, and the Cowboys pick 22nd or something like that, or what, okay, well, that'll be somewhat beneficial, right? Likewise, if the Cowboys really stink it up and the Giants do really well, then the Cowboys will be getting a late 7th round pick, and we'd be getting an early 6th round pick. So we'll have to wait and see. But now that Phillips has played 2 games for the Cowboys, the Giants are going to be getting the Cowboys' 6th round pick in the 2026 draft, and the Cowboys will be getting our 7th round pick. So we're swapping picks. So yeah, it might be a little bit beneficial, right? I mean, obviously, you'd rather have a 6th round pick than a 7th round pick. But if the Cowboys really kick butt, I hope not. But if they really kick butt next season, right? I mean, the 6th round pick that they're going to get, I mean, could be pick number 25 or 26 or something like that in the 6th round, which is, kind of a late 6th round pick, which is almost the 7th round pick. So, but anyway, it's better than nothing. Let's see. Phillips had to be on the Cowboys' 46-man game day roster for 2 games for the pick swap to kick in. That has now happened. So it worked well. So, I mean, we didn't have to wait all season long, and on the first 2 weeks, he's on the roster, the 46-man roster. So swapping back in 2026. It's not next season, but so 2 years. All right. All right, then we got. So the Giants, they bring in Greg Joseph. Of course, he's the guy embracing his nomadic life of an NFL place kicker. Of course, he's the guy to kick the 332,000-yard field goal against us when we played Minnesota 2 seasons ago. Right, it was a great game. Yeah, either team could have won that game. Really, really good, exciting game. Exciting finish. It was a 61-yard field goal. Now, he's not like Mr. Automatica or not like that. In his career, Joseph, right, if you're like from the 40 on in, he's really good. He gets a little, from beyond 40 or 40 out. But, he'll miss the odd extra point. Right, I think he's like a 90% field goal extra point kicker. His field goals are like 82%. Not bad. Don't know if he's going to be around, for I mean, maybe once Graham Gano can come back and be healthy and this, that, and maybe Joseph goes bye-bye, but he's been around, let's see, since 2018. He was with Cleveland, then he was with Tennessee, then he spent the past 3 seasons with Minnesota. Last year, he was 24 out of 30, which is, if you go back 30 years ago or whatever, you're 24 out of 30, you're a Hall of Famer. Let me tell you what. I mean, still, 24 out of 30 is not bad. 2 seasons ago in 2022, he was 26 out of 33, had 7 misses. 2021, he was 33 out of 38. Very good. Let's see. So last season he was 80%. 2 years ago he kicked 79%. And 2021, it's his first year with Minnesota. He was 86.8%, so almost 87%. So very, very good. His first year with Cleveland, he kicked 17 out of 20. He was 85%. But, he always seems to miss an extra point or two. 2 years ago with Minnesota, he missed 6 extra points. Last year, he was 36 out of 38, an extra point. So he'll miss an extra point. He will. So let's see what we got here. I think it has it here. It tells what his stats are. Somewhere. Okay. No. Oh, there we go. Hold on. And of course, Graham Gano got placed on the injured reserve. Okay, there we go. 67 regular season games for 3 teams. Joseph's made 100 out of 121 career field goal attempts, 82.6%, which is not bad. Obviously, in a more modern era, they want like closer to 90%, which is, my God. But 82.6 is not bad. Of course, with his one long was 61 yards, which, of course, we all know is what beat the Giants. Graham Gano's career long is the one he kicked against when he played for Carolina, which beat us. Yeah, so it's amazing how many kickers' career longs are against the Giants, especially in the last second of a game to win a game. But anyway, he has also made 146 of 162 extra point attempts, 90%. So he makes 9. So out of every 10 extra points, he misses 1. So he's not Mr. Automatic with the extra points. By distance, he's 100% from inside of 30 yards. Okay. From 30 to 39 yards, he's 97%. So basically, in his career, from 39 yards on in, he's almost automatic. He's missed 1 base, but I mean you got to get down to the 22-yard line. So you get down to the 22, right? He's almost automatic. Let's see here. He's 22 out of 30 from 40 to 49 yards, so he's 73%. So basically, he'll make 3 out of every 4 from 40 to 49 yards. Then you get from 50 yards or more, he's 16 out of 28, 57.1. But I mean, if you can get down to the 22-yard line or 23-yard line or so, make it 40 yards on in, he's really accurate. So let's see here. So, Giants signed veteran kicker Greg Joseph off the Detroit Lions practice squad and placed Graham Gano on injured reserve. The team also claimed linebacker Patrick Johnson off waivers from the Eagles. So we got a Joseph and we got a Johnson. Once again, as the practice squad turns, it just keeps changing. The Eagles selected Johnson in the 7th round of the 2021 NFL Draft. Johnson spent the last 3 seasons in Philadelphia and appeared in the 2024 season opener before being waived. 6'2", 248 pounds. Played a total of 49 games with 2 starts for the Eagles and registered 35 tackles, 3 quarterback hits, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. He has played significant snaps on special teams over the past few seasons. Prior to being drafted, Johnson played 4 seasons at Tulane, where he finished as the program's all-time leader in sacks with 24.5. He led the nation with 10 sacks in his senior season and earned first-team All-ACC honors. Johnson was also named second-team All-AAC in 2018 and 2019. He became just the 3rd player in Tulane history to earn All-AAC honors in 3 seasons. So the guy has some potential to him. Now, if we look, let me let's see if I can share my screen here. Present, share screen. Where are we at here? There you are, Patrick Johnson. There you go. Let's, he doesn't have a lot of stats going on here. I mean, a lot of this is, with the defense. This is last season. He played in weeks 15, 17, and 18 last season with the Eagles. He played the defense. He played in a grand total of 38 snaps. Right? Nothing super spectacular. He graded out a 47.3. His run defense last year was a 53.9. His tackling was a 23.6. His missed tackle rate, he missed 3 tackles. Apparently his missed tackle rate was 75% last season. Let's see what we got. He was credited with, according to PFF, he was credited with 1 tackle and he missed 3. So he had 4 opportunities to make tackles last season. He made 1 of them. So don't expect, a ton from him. Yeah, he could be on the practice squad today and off the practice squad tomorrow. So don't get overly excited here. Now, if you look here, and I do apologize, I got a bulb that blew out down here, so it might be a little tough to see. 2022, he played 232 snaps for the Eagles, graded out of 56.4. His rookie season, he played with 112 snaps, graded out of 66.4. All right, once again, see his tackling. He missed 37.5% of his tackles. He according to PFF, once again, the last 2 seasons while playing defense, he's had 12 opportunities to make a tackle. He made 6 tackles and he missed 6 tackles. So his missed tackle rate in the last 2 seasons on defense with the Eagles, his missed tackle rate is 50%. So, but let's look at, I got some special teams here. Special teams, there we go. All right, 2023. Now let's see here. Okay, we can go to 2024. Actually, let's go. Let's see here. 2024 special teams. He played in the first week. 24 special team snaps, graded out of 70.3. So having somebody on the practice squad that can play linebacker, a big 6'2", 250 pounds. That's a big body for a linebacker. But he can play special teams, right? 24 special team snaps, graded out of 70.3, according to PFF. That's all I'm going by. Let's see. But if you look 2023, 86 snaps, he graded out 57.6. 2022, 86. I'm sorry, 300. Over 300 snaps, 322 snaps last season on special teams. 369 snaps in 2022 on special teams for the Eagles. His rookie season, 276 snaps on special teams. So his rookie season, he graded 71.1 on special teams. Then a 59, a 57, and this season, 70.3. So he played a lot on special teams. So if he ever gets called up and if he's part of the 46 or so that you can dress, right? He's going to be a special teamer, right? So, but don't look at anything. Don't get overly excited or anything like that. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Don't get overly excited or nothing like that. Once again, a lot of these special these practice squad guys are just here today, gone tomorrow. So, right. Let's see. They claim I'm off of waivers from the Eagles. So off of waivers. So the thing is, if you take some, that's the thing is, if you get somebody off their practice squad, right, you have to put them on your 53. But if you get them off of waivers, you can just throw them on your practice squad. So once again, don't look for anything super duper spectacular here. But at least with Greg Joseph, he's played. Right, he's got a lot of experience. Getting inside, or if you get him a 40-yard field goal on in, he's pretty good. He will miss the odd ball, extra point. It is what it is. But if he's a placeholder until we, maybe if we get if Gano's coming back, we'll have to wait and see. You don't know what the extent of the groin injury was, what the extent of the hamstring injury was. So we'll just have to wait and see. But we do have a kicker. Let's see, got that. All right, then we got now. The one thing is here is that the Browns they've had some issues here, right? Browns injured offensive tackles may be back against the Giants unless they are not. Jack Conklin and Jedrick Wills Jr. are getting closer to be ready to play, but their availability for Sunday's game is still a question. Now, they had a hard time, very hard time against the Cowboys. The Cowboys, it looked what it looked like. Watching the Cowboy-Cleveland game was basically looking at the Cowboy-Giant game from week 1 last season. The ball would be snapped, whoever the quarterback was, Daniel Jones, and as the ball was hitting his hand, 37 defensive players from the Cowboys were in the backfield, ready to rip. That's what it looked like. I mean, Watson had no chance last year. Daniel Jones had no chance. It was an absolute joke. So they're they got good offensive linemen, but the two tackles were not playing. So let me share this here. Share my screen here again. So if we look, here we go. Just trade block. Nope. All right, here we go. If we look here, right, pass blocking. All right, this is so far this season, right? Make sure I'm at the right season. Yeah, NFL. I'll just go regular. I got regular and postseason. I'm not sure why I got regular and postseason, but hold on. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Hold on. Let's try this again here. See if I can do anything. Regular. Let me see if I can. Regular. See if anything happens here. Wow. Okay. Let's try this again. 2024 regular season. All right. Let's try this. Try to share my screen here again. All right. There we go. Let's try this. This is just the regular season. So if we go down here, look over here at pass blocking. Okay, actually, let's go to run blocking first. All right. Now we're like on opposite ends of the spectrum. The Giants and the Browns on both a run and they're on opposite ends of the spectrum, and they're switched. The run blocking, Cleveland's run blocking is very, according to PFF. That's all I'm going by. Is a lot better, according to PFF. The Giants have had some good flashes. Don't get me wrong, without question. But the run blocking, according to PFF, the Browns are a little bit better. The Browns are 13th overall, 67.2. And that's just the first two games and all that. But, I mean, they're missing their star two tackles, right? Conklin and Wills. So, but you'll see here with the Giants run blocking, according to PFF, is 49.6. I'm not sure why it's quite so bad. I mean, obviously, they got with PFF, they got actually guys watching the games and stuff like that. And so the Giants are way down at the bottom for run blocking. Pass blocking, though, is a little different story. And this has been one of the reasons why the Browns have given up a lot of pressures. Watson's been sacked, I think, 8 times in the first 2 games. Pass blocking, the Giants are number 6th. So remember, the run blocking, the Giants were down at the bottom. Well, now they're at the top, according to PFF. Right, they're 6th so far after 2 games. Pass blocking, which is they're at 76.3, which is like unbelievable. It's like a miracle. Top 6 pass blocking. Just 2 games, I get it. But the Browns with pass blocking, look at the Rams, 29.2. Wow, they're pass blocking. Oh, my God. That is horrible. The Browns are number 27. They're 56.3. So basically, it's almost like reverse. The Giants run blocking, according to PFF, once again, is at the bottom, but their pass blocking is at the top. The Browns, according to PFF, their run blocking's at the top, but their pass blocking's at the bottom. So I mean, without question, let me stop sharing the screen here. Without question, that could mean quite a bit for the Giants, especially their pass rush. I mean, if to help maybe Kayvon and Burnsy to get some sacks or some hits and some pressures and cause some havoc or whatever, because their offense does not look super spectacular. Let's be honest with it. The Browns after the first 2 weeks, right? So the Giants, hopefully, I mean, if Dexy can get a push up the middle, if we can get some pressure from the outside, right? We're obviously going to need somebody to keep an eye on Watson, because that guy, what a phenomenal athlete the dude is. I mean, just super spectacular. I don't think he's worth anywhere near what the Browns paid him, especially when they fully guaranteed his contract. I think that's just an absolute joke, but it is what it is. I think Joe Flacco last season did a better job than Watson did. But let's see here. The Browns have navigated the first 2 weeks of the NFL season without their bookend starting offensive tackles in Jack Conklin and Jedrick Wills Jr. The situation has not gone smoothly, especially at left tackle, where James Hudson III has posted an overall grade of 42 from Pro Football Focus. And even though they were victorious in week 2 against the Jaguars, the offensive line as a whole allowed 16 pressures on 42 pass blocking snaps to finish the game with a pass blocking efficiency score of 77.4 from PFF, the second lowest mark from the unit since the start of the 2023 season. And that's, I mean, you thought, I said, if you looked at what happened against the Cowboys, like ran roughshod over them. I mean, my God, they were all over them. They were in the backfield before the ball got snapped. It was unbelievable. On the bright side, quarterback Deshaun Watson, they forgot Watson, but anyway, took less of a pounding against the Jaguars than he did in the season opener against the Cowboys. And Conklin and Willis may be back in the lineup this week against the Giants. Maybe. Unless, of course, they are not. Now, we got here. This is, I guess, this is from today, meaning, I guess, Wednesday. Tackles Jedrick Wills Jr. and Jack Conklin both practicing today. DeJuan Jones did not practice, working inside as he deals with a knee injury. So Wills and Conklin both were practicing today. Now, will they be cleared to go? Don't know. Will both of them be cleared? Will one of them be cleared? We'll have to tune in tomorrow, right? Let's see. The Browns were back at practice on Wednesday, and when asked about his availability for Sunday's game, Conklin said things are trending in the right direction. Close. Definitely getting better and better every week. I'm feeling better and better every week, so I think there's a good shot. If this week goes well, be ready to roll. As for Wills, he is a solid maybe to face the Giants. He said, I feel like I'm getting there. I don't know when I'll be playing. Maybe this week, maybe next week. So the thing is that, also kind of look at it if you want to read in between the lines or whatever, is that, they're starting, right? If they're playing, they're going to be a little rusty. And, if you come back from an injury, I mean, one thing is that their body's not all beat up and banged up from playing 2 football games, right? So they'll have a little freshness to them. But, I mean, if they're coming off an injury, they'll be a little rusty. So, they might need a game or 2 or whatever if they do come back this Sunday to get back into playing performance, shall we say. So, even if they do come back, that still might be a benefit for the Giants. So we'll have to wait and see. But, like I said, the 2 tackles have been out. And as of right now, you don't know. Will both of them be in there? Don't know. Will one of them be in, one out? Will they both be out? Don't know. So I'll have to wait and see. But, I mean, if they can't play, if neither one can play, that's a benefit for the Giants. Because especially on the pass blocking, right, they've been giving up a lot of pressures. And I said, I think Watson here. Deshaun Watson, he's been sacked 8 times. So he's had a lot of pressures, and he's been sacked 8 times. And to sack that guy 8 times is saying something because the guy's a unbelievable athlete. So that could be a big advantage for the Giants. Big advantage for the Giants. Because Cleveland, they got a real good defense. And they gave up, was it 33 points to the let's see here. It was 33 points. To the Cowboys roster schedule. Yeah, 33. But, I mean, the Cowboys did not have a lot of yards. They only had like 200 and some odd, 265 or something like that. I mean, they did not have a lot of yards. right? And they only gave up, 13 points to the Jaguars. So, so I mean, their defense is going to be good. Their secondary is going to be good. So, the Giants going to have a hard time, hopefully not, but quite possibly going to have a hard time moving the ball up and down the field against the Browns. So it's going to be really interesting. So I'm saying, the Giants offensive-wise might have a hard time against the Browns, but if we can benefit from the Browns' offensive tackles not being in there, that might help level out the playing field a little bit. So it's going to be tough, obviously tough atmosphere. Obviously, the Browns will be home. The Browns are 1-1. Obviously, they want to go 2-1, right? And the Giants do not want to go 0-3. You go 0-3. I think it's just been 6 teams since 1979, I think it is. Who started off 0-3 to actually make the playoffs. So it's, as I said, this is a tough stretch for the Giants. Weeks 3-8. I mean, because after the Browns, if we start 0-3, you got the Cowboys coming to town. And we haven't beat we got the Cowboys coming to town. Haven't beat the Cowboys since George Washington was the president of the United States. So it ain't going to be easy either, right? Especially with the pass rush the Cowboys have, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So the Giants can avoid going 0-3. That would be huge, absolutely huge. You got to get that first win. John Madden always said, right? He said the toughest points to get in a football game are the first ones. He says those are the toughest points to get. And I think that might be almost kind of say the same thing, quite possibly about the first win of the season. The toughest win of the season to get might be the first one. After that, okay, we won, we can do this. Let's get going. Especially, if they're out of town, they're not at home getting booed. You suck, get out of here, and all that stuff, right? They're out of Dodge, right? They're on the road, and you go out there and play another team on the road, beat another team on the road. That would be huge. So that could be a huge, huge benefit for the Giants if the Browns tackles do not play. Then I saw this to wrap things up here. 2024, already they're starting this. NFL trade block big board entering week 3. They have, 9 guys on the thing here? 11 guys. They got 11 guys they picked up here. This is from Bleacher Report. They looked around the league and found 11 guys. I guess the top 11 guys who would be on the trading block, right? It's like, because the thing is, and these two guys do make some sense, right? If you got a guy on your roster, and especially because if they may not be around next season, you got the combo pack here. Especially if they're not going to be around next season, and if they're not going to help you get to a championship, playoff, or Super Bowl, whatever, right? It's, I don't want to say use them or lose, not use them or lose them, but I mean, get rid of them and get something before them. Get something for them before you lose them. Because these 2 guys, there's 11 guys. I'm not going to go over all 11, but there's 2 Giants on this list that they're talking about in the Bleacher Report as far as possibly being trade candidates. And, if the Giants start, I'm not saying they're tanking. They don't do that. But if it starts becoming where it's like, the season's like starts spiraling out of control, and it's kind of like, we may not make the playoffs. And so these 2 guys that they have on this list here, it's like, we might want to trade them because they're not going to be on the roster next season. So let's trade them, see if we can get a 7th round pick for either one or both of them, what we can. And, wish them nothing but the best. Thank them, high five them, chest bump them and all that. Thank you. And let's get something for them because they're probably not going to be on the roster next season. And both these guys make sense. Right? I forgot which one was first. I said Bleacher Report, they found 11 guys. Now, said here you'll find our top 10 trade targets. Okay, entering week 3. Based on factors such as player upside, past production, positional value, contract status, and any relevant trade-related buzz. So There's two Giants here. Here's the first one here. Scrolling down. I think, yeah, it was 10 guys. Okay. Who was that? Huh. Where we had there? For one, Buda Baker. Wow. Jeez, I get it. All right. Darius Slayton, because good chance he won't be around next season. You guys are going to want to get paid, right? And I don't think that John, unfortunately, I don't think, especially, I mean, he's been kind of non-existent so far this year, right? And he's going to want to get paid. Veteran wide receiver Darius Slayton continues to be a bit player in the New York Giants offense. The 27-year-old has made one start this season, but has caught just 6 passes for 59 yards. With young receivers like Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, and Wan'Dale Robinson serving as New York's future, Slayton could be nearing the end of his Giants career. Slayton is scheduled to be a free agent in 2025. If New York's 0-2 record turns into 0-3 or 0-4, it might consider moving on from its longest tenured receiver well before the spring. While Slayton never quite filled New York's need for the true number one receiver, well, he was a 5th-round pick, you know. It was a great 5th-round pick. He has topped 700 receiving yards in 4 of his past 5 seasons. With a crappy offensive line, with not great quarterback play, with a crappy offense, he's 4 out of 5 years he's over 700 yards. He'd be a fine complementary option in another offense, and his experience could allow him to contribute early. The 49ers might want to kick the tires on Slayton now that they're set to be without wide receiver Deebo Samuel for the immediate future. Probably miss a couple weeks, 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan said of Deebo. Slayton could help San Francisco navigate an upcoming stretch that includes games against the Rams, Patriots, Cardinals, and Seahawks. The Steelers could also have interest in the veteran pass catcher. Pittsburgh has jumped to an 2-0 start, but its offense has been average at best. Yeah, it's their defense is what's winning them in the football games. Justin Fields has been serviceable at quarterback, but receiver depth is still an issue. So, I mean, because, quite a good chance. I mean, we got Hyatt, who's apparently like MIA. They're not putting him on the field. But, we got Wan'Dale, we got Hyatt, we got Malik Neighbors. So, I mean, we could certainly draft another wide receiver in the draft next year, right? We got Bryce Ford Wheaton. So we got a lot of young guys, right? Not that Slayton's overly old or not like that, but he's a free agent. He's only making if we sign him to a 2-year, and he's got incentives, which he's not going to meet. But a 2-year deal, $12 million. He's making $6 million a year. He's not going to make $15, $20 million a year, but I'm sure he's going to want to make more than $6 million. And even if he'd be happy with $6 million, I don't even know if the Giants can even ante that up for him. Don't know. So then the other guy that they have on the Bleacher Report is for the trade blocks is he number 2 on the list? Azeez Ojulari. Get something while you can. Though they ultimately fell to the Commanders, the Giants did show signs of life in week 2. That could be enough to stave off a fire sale for the immediate future. Even so, New York would likely entertain offers for pending 2025 free agent Azeez Ojulari. Kayvon Thibodeaux and Brian Burns now leading the pass rush. Ojulari simply doesn't have a critical role in the defensive game plan. Ojulari has played just 36% of the defensive snaps through 2 weeks this season. However, Ojulari does have trade value. The 2021 second-round pick had 8 sacks as a rookie and another 5.5 sacks in 2022. Plus, he recorded 56 quarterback pressures in 35 games before becoming an afterthought this year. Tampa Bay Buccaneers should be interested in adding an edge rusher like Ojulari if the opportunity is there. Tampa's bend but don't break style of defense has helped deliver a 2-0 record, but its pass rush has been underwhelming. The Buccaneers are tied with the Commanders and Panthers with a league-low 2 sacks through 2 games. The Raiders should also consider eyeing Ojulari as Malcolm Kuntz remains an injured reserve. Despite having a star sack artist in Max Crosby, Las Vegas has notched just 3 sacks through 2 games. Also, Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham previously served as a Giants defensive coordinator during Ojulari's rookie season. So there's familiarity there. So, I mean, you look at wide receivers and an edge rusher. I mean, there's always teams out there looking for that without question. Now, what are you going to get in return? As I said, you probably get maybe a 7th-round pick, 6th-round pick, maybe at the most for either one of those guys. But it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, the one thing is that what it does to a locker room. You got guys who have been there. Said, Ojulari, this is his 4th season. Darius Slayton came in with Daniel Jones. So, 6 seasons. So you got guys who have been there for 4 years, 6 years. It's like what it does to a locker room. It's like, so you got to be very, very careful with stuff like that. And the thing is also, it's kind of like, once you start like just trading off your players, it's almost kind of like you're like, oh, yeah, the season's over. Yeah. All right, thanks, guys. But yeah, we're cashing our chips in now because we suck and we're not going to try to win. Well, we're not going to try to win, but we don't think we're going to win many games anymore the rest of the season. And we think the season's over with and we're looking for the future and we're just selling our guys off. So that's, that does not sit well in the locker room. So you have to be, gotta be very careful with what you do there, especially with 2 fine guys like Slayton and Ojulari. I can't say Slayton's underwhelmed because he was a 5th-round pick and he's had over 700 yards receiving in 4 or 5 years, right? Ojulari with his injuries, he's been a little underwhelming. Now, if he was never injured in college and all that stuff, he would have been a 1st-round pick, and the Giants probably never would have had him, never would have drafted him in the 2nd round. He probably wouldn't have made it to him. But it is what it is. But so you got to be kind of delicate there. You got to be careful. They start trading off guys. I said what it shows to the team, all right, and what it does for the locker room. So, but there are a couple of guys, I say, because quite probably those 2 guys probably ain't going to be back in Giants uniforms next season. I hate that because I hate when you draft a guy and then they wind up going elsewhere. But that's the modern NFL. It is what it is. All right, guys, been 1 hour and 7 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of our means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.